A new government report is raising eyebrows across the country, especially among anyone interested in extraterrestrials.
So may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization. Astronomers were excited to discover the interstellar object last year. It was named Oumuamua.
Scientists have just revealed that Oumuamua might not be a natural space rock at all. Unlike anything we've seen before, Oumuamua has a shape, speed, and movement that breaks all the rules. Could it be that Oumuamua was designed, or maybe even built, by an unknown force? We will uncover the hidden truth that the US government doesn't want anyone to find out. The rebel rock from space. At first, everyone thought it was just a weird asteroid, but things didn't add up. It didn't follow any of the usual space rules. Asteroids and comets are like school kids in uniforms. They all have a certain look and behavior. But not this one. It was like the rebellious kid who showed up in a leather jacket. It wasn't acting like it was supposed to, which led some people to think, hey, maybe this is some alien technology cruising by? Why not? And things got even weirder when its movement through space didn't seem to follow any gravitational influences from our sun. It just zoomed right past, ignoring all the space rules. Before we dig deeper, it's becoming clear that the truth behind Oumuamua is stranger than anyone ever expected. And this won't be the only thing that will leave you speechless. Now let's talk about that bizarre shape, like a long skinny cigar. Most space rocks we know are lumpy and irregular, like a crumpled piece of paper. But not this one. This thing looked like it had been stretched out, 10 times longer than it was wide. Scientists couldn't wrap their heads around how such a shape could be naturally formed. It's almost like nature doesn't make things that long and skinny just for fun. And let's not forget how fast it was moving. It was zooming through space as if it had somewhere important to be. That's when things got sketchy. The moment it passed by the sun, it did something even weirder. It sped up. It's what comets do when they heat up and start releasing gas, creating that famous glowing tail. Except, surprise, it didn't have a tail. No gas, no dust, no shiny stuff following it around. Nothing. It was like it was trying to pass off as a comet, but forgot the most important part. The scientists had no idea what to make of it. A comet that wasn't really a comet, an asteroid that definitely wasn't acting like an asteroid. What was this thing? Of course, researchers started scratching their heads and came up with all sorts of theories. One theory was that maybe it was made of some really weird stuff, something that doesn't behave like the things we see in our backyard. Maybe it was some kind of hydrogen iceberg, solid hydrogen, the kind of stuff we usually see as gas. Apparently, if you have enough hydrogen ice and get it near the sun, it'll start sublimating, fancy word for turning straight from solid to gas, and make the thing speed up without any visible tail. Except there's one tiny issue. Such hydrogen icebergs are super rare, and making one big enough to zoom across the galaxy seemed unlikely, if not impossible. Then there was Harvard's Avi Loeb, who had a much more exciting take. He proposed that it wasn't natural at all. Maybe it was some kind of alien technology, like a solar sail, a spaceship powered by sunlight. This would explain the acceleration and the weird shape, like a giant sail catching solar wind. This idea definitely turned heads. The thought that it was made by some distant alien civilization was too juicy to ignore. But then most scientists backed away, scared of jumping into the alien pool without more proof. They weren't saying no aliens, just not enough evidence, buddy. Now, the problem with this object is that it came, caused a stir, and then disappeared into the depths of space. Like that strange stranger in a movie who comes into town, says something cryptic, and then leaves. By early 2018, it was gone, out of sight and out of the reach of our telescopes. This left everyone stuck with only a short window of data. It's frustrating, isn't it? It's like having a piece of a problem and no idea what the whole picture is supposed to be. This object had a huge impact, though. It forced scientists to rethink what they knew about space, that maybe there's more out there than we'd ever imagine. And right on the heels of this event, there came another interstellar visitor. This time it was a comet called 20A Borisov. It wasn't as weird as the previous visitor, but it still hinted that objects from other star systems are more common than we thought. Maybe we're just not used to seeing them. As Oumuamua moved out of sight, It left scientists scratching their heads and sparked a search for answers that would test everything we know. Waiting for the next alien clue. This whole saga has kicked off a race to spot more interstellar guests. New telescopes, like the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, are being built to scan the sky better. They're hoping to catch sight of more space travelers. Who knows, maybe next time we'll have a chance to actually study one in more detail, or even send a probe out to say hi before it leaves us in the dust. But here's the question that keeps scientists up at night. What if it was a sign, a clue that we're not alone? The very idea that it could be an alien artifact is thrilling. It's enough to make anyone a believer in the possibility of life beyond Earth. Sure, most scientists are playing it safe, sticking to natural explanations. But the possibility's still there. Maybe we're not the only ones out here, spinning on a rock around a star. Maybe someone else has been cruising by, just taking a peek. Years have passed, and we're still debating what it really was. Was it a frozen chunk of hydrogen, an alien solar sail, or just some chunk of space debris playing tricks on us? Nobody knows for sure, and until we see something like it again, we'll just be left with guesses. It's both exciting and annoying. It's a reminder that, for all our big brains, there's still so much we don't know about the universe. This visit shows us one thing for sure. The universe still has a ton of surprises for us. We can build all the telescopes we want, look as far into space as possible, and think we've got it all figured out. But then, a strange cigar-shaped object comes flying through our solar system and blows all our theories to pieces. Maybe next time we'll be ready, or maybe next time we'll find out that the truth is stranger than anything we could have imagined. As technology gets better and our understanding of the cosmos grows, maybe one day we'll finally crack the problem. But until then, it'll remain one of those unsolved problems, taunting us with what might have been and urging us to keep looking up at the night sky, wondering what else is out there. The problem didn't end when it vanished beyond our telescopes. It only deepened. For a moment, humanity was confronted with an undeniable problem, something that had sailed through the silent void of interstellar space to briefly enter our view, then just as quickly slip away. It felt as though we had caught a glimpse of a question the universe had been keeping from us, and when it was gone, we were left with only our guesses and wild theories. Think about it. This object moved faster than anything else we had observed before. Its velocity alone made it clear that it was not native to our solar system. It was just passing through, a true interstellar visitor. Imagine that, a piece of another star system coming into our own backyard. To make it even more confounding, its trajectory showed no clear signs of where it might have originated from. No signature, no breadcrumbs, just a strange path that seemed more chaotic than deliberate. And then there's the acceleration. It's almost like Oumuamua decided to speed up a little on its way out. Sure, gravity might explain some of that, but not all of it. Scientists were perplexed, digging through every physics textbook they could to understand why. Comets accelerate because they throw off gas, forming those bright tails we see streaking across the sky. But this object? No tail, no visible emissions. Nothing that would point to outgassing. It was like someone hit the gas without the engine making a sound. To make things even stranger, there was no spin to suggest typical behavior. Most objects that get pulled into our solar system spin on some axis, almost like they're on a cosmic carousel. But not Oumuamua. It wasn't tumbling the way most space rocks do. Its rotation was non-periodic, like a drifting leaf that didn't care which way it turned. This detail led many to believe that the object wasn't just strange, it was something entirely different from anything our solar system had ever seen. After looking at Oumuamua's odd shape and behavior, researchers started to wonder if it was just a strange rock or something far more interesting. Theories fly after Oumuamua. Some scientists, in the wake of its appearance, were more willing to entertain ideas that would normally be too out there for their profession. Theories started floating around that perhaps this wasn't even an object meant for us to see. Maybe it was a remnant of something else, some long-forgotten event, or perhaps a derelict from an alien civilization's long-expired mission. The solar sail theory was born, where researchers considered the possibility that Oumuamua could be an artificial probe designed by another civilization, propelled not by fuel but by sunlight. But for all of Avi Loeb's enthusiasm, the alien theory faced heavy skepticism. Critics pointed out that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and we just didn't have it. They argued that without some tangible proof, something beyond a bizarre shape and unexpected acceleration, we couldn't leap to conclusions. After all, jumping to the alien conclusion every time we don't understand something is a risky way to practice science. Instead, the more conventional theories stuck around. Some suggested that perhaps it was a shard from an exoplanet torn apart by gravitational forces elsewhere in the galaxy. Imagine a planet getting shredded, leaving pieces of itself scattered across the cosmos until one just happened to wander into our neighborhood. Others thought that maybe it was a fragment of a collision, a galactic car crash that sent bits and pieces flying in all directions. The sheer randomness of the universe means that sometimes things break apart, and those parts can go anywhere. Another group considered the cosmic iceberg theory. Solid hydrogen ice, they thought, could accelerate without producing a visible tail. If a block of hydrogen had formed somewhere out there in deep space, maybe it had somehow survived the long, cold path across light years. But the logistics of that were iffy. Hydrogen is the simplest and lightest element, meaning it would easily evaporate long before making it to us. The likelihood of an intact hydrogen iceberg seems so unlikely that even those pushing the theory had to admit it wasn't perfect. The biggest frustration of all? Oumuamua was a one-time visitor. By the time the world even knew it existed, it was already leaving. We didn't have time to aim more telescopes at it, to study it properly, or to even send a probe that might intercept it. All we got were a few days of data, like a brief glimpse at something amazing before it was snatched away. This fleeting encounter left us with more questions than answers, and no way to follow up. Despite all the confusion, the appearance of Oumuamua was a game changer. Before its arrival, we hadn't confirmed an interstellar object entering our solar system. This was the first, and it proved to us that interstellar travel by such objects isn't just a theory. It's real. And who knows how many others are out there, moving silently through the blackness. Maybe our telescopes just weren't looking at the right spot at the right time. This wake-up call led to a renewed effort to catch the next one. The construction of better, more advanced telescopes that could continuously survey the night sky was suddenly a priority. Researchers wanted to be ready to catch the next visitor early enough to get a proper look. Imagine if we could identify another object like Oumuamua early enough to plan a mission. We could learn so much about its origin, its composition, maybe even if it had traces of something truly exotic. Then there was the shift in how we thought about the search for alien life. Instead of only looking at planets and moons, suddenly scientists had another option to consider: wandering objects from other systems. If alien civilizations are out there, maybe they send out probes like Oumuamua. Maybe they're not even sending them anymore. Maybe these probes are relics, lost to time, drifting aimlessly. The search for extraterrestrial life became a little broader, a little wilder. And yet the scientific community remains divided. Some are eager to point out the peculiarities and argue that they suggest an artificial origin. Others say that until we have more data, jumping to such conclusions isn't productive. They want proof, hard, irrefutable proof that can't be chalked up to natural processes. And with Oumuamua, that proof was simply not there. Even with doubts, one bold idea kept coming up for some scientists. Maybe Oumuamua was a sign of advanced alien technology, the object that opened our eyes. Regardless of where you stand, the fact is that Oumuamua has sparked an imagination frenzy. It captured the public's attention too. People love a good question, especially one that involves aliens. The media was quick to jump on the alien hypothesis, and before long, it felt like everyone was talking about this interstellar strange object. The reality, though, is that Oumuamua gave us more of a question mark than an exclamation point. As the years have passed, some of the enthusiasm around Oumuamua has naturally waned. The world moves on, and new problems capture our imagination. But among astronomers, the questions remain. How many other Oumuamuas are out there? What can we do next time to make sure we don't miss our shot? Could we ever prepare a mission fast enough to intercept an interstellar object passing through our solar system? The answers to those questions could shape the future of our exploration of the cosmos. Looking ahead, the next time an interstellar visitor enters our solar system, things might be different. With better technology, we might get a longer look, gather more data, and maybe even answer the question that Oumuamua left us with. Was it a naturally occurring oddball or something far more interesting? A signal from the distant reaches of the galaxy? Perhaps even a remnant of an alien technology? What if one day we find something out there that really looks like it was made by someone, not just a natural thing? That would be huge. It would mean that we're not the only ones out there with brains and tools. There might have been others, maybe a long time ago, or maybe they're still around. This would be a huge deal for all of us, knowing that our planet isn't the only place where smart creatures live. Depending on what exactly we find out about these other beings, it could really bring us together in wonder or shake us up big time. Right now, we're just hanging around and waiting. We've got our big telescopes looking up at the stars, hoping to spot something else that's weird and wonderful. The next thing from outer space could be just about to show up, or it might not come until far in the future. But that thing that flew by a while back, called Oumuamua, it really got us thinking. It opened up a whole new set of ideas for us. It made us realize that there's a lot out there we don't know, and maybe the universe is even more amazing than we ever thought. Imagine this. We're all on Earth, just spinning through space around the sun, eyes glued to the heavens. We're on the lookout for anything out of the ordinary. Maybe it's a strange rock zooming past, a chunk of ice from a distant part of space, or perhaps something that looks like it might have been made by intelligent hands, not just nature. It's a waiting game and nobody truly knows what's going to show up next. But whatever it is, we're eager and ready for the surprise. Living at this time with our eyes fixed on the skies is thrilling. Each new thing that crosses our telescopes could teach us more about the vast and unusual place our universe is. What might we discover tomorrow? What wonders are hiding out there just waiting to jump out at us? This feels like a giant space treasure hunt where each discovery could be the key to a massive revelation. So here we are, planted on our vibrant blue globe, spinning and whirling through the cosmos. We dream, speculate, and hope about what comes next. What will the universe reveal to us? Every day brings a chance for something amazing to happen, something so astonishing it could change how we see everything. The idea that we might not be alone, that somewhere out there could be other beings, smart like us, or maybe even smarter, is mind-blowing. If we ever find clear evidence of something made by another kind of intelligence, it would be a historic moment for humanity. Is Oumuamua just a strange space rock? Or could it be a signal from intelligent life far beyond our reach? Tell us what you think, and remember to like and subscribe for more.